Okay. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Thursday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Parrish Construction and Roofing. Need an orthopedist? Go to Brock and Roof. You call Parrish. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com. Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com. Bocock Brothers Premium Cigars. Use the code MAT15 for 15% off your order. Okay, y'all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everybody's day is off to a wonderful start. Tomorrow, 4th of July. So naturally, I think a lot of people certainly have the day off tomorrow. Maybe a lot of you have the day off today as well. So if you do, cheers. Let's have a great one. Big recruiting day for LSU on Wednesday as 5-star Trenton Henderson picked the Tigers. So 5-star edge. Number 28 overall prospect in the country, according to 24/7. He is a consensus top 60 overall player in the country, regardless of position. So you got a really elite edge rusher out of Pensacola. So Texas and Florida were the other finalists, and he is the first edge rusher that you got in this class. So very significant there at what will likely be a big position of need after the season, because you're going to lose Pyburn and Butler and Patrick Payton after this year. And for 26, Gabe Relaford. My audio bad. Hang on. God dog it. There you go. Should be better now. That means I had bad audio on Locked On as well. God dog it. Anyway. Apologies. It should be better now. Oh, well. So big get, Trenton Henderson. Tigers did miss on J.J. Bush, however, linebacker, picked Arkansas. Linebacker out of Alabama who picked Arkansas. I think the thing to know there is, and which I guess was interesting, and I don't know anything about J.J. Bush other than what other people say, is that all the recruiting analysts seem to be in agreement that he was probably going to LSU. Blake Baker really prioritized him. LSU wanted him. It was LSU, Arkansas, Missouri were the 3 finalists. He picked Arkansas. And I think one of the things that in the rev share that's going to be interesting, and I explained this on Locked On for those who heard it or watched it today. One of the things that's interesting is how you prioritize a player within your roster. So, for example, LSU, of the $20.5 million of rev share, 75% of it's going to football. So roughly $15 million. Okay, let's say $15 million is the rev share number. Okay. We can break that $15 million down across your roster. So you say, okay, the whole pie is 100%. What percentage of the pie is going to quarterback? What percentage is going to running back? What percentage is going to receiver, line, offensive, defensive, linebacker, cornerback, safety, kickers, punter? You get it. And so you break down the pie to 100%. Well, obviously each percentage carries a dollar value. So let's say of your $15 million, 10% is going to quarterback. That means $1.5 million goes to quarterback. Okay, well, you have $1.5 million allocated for quarterback. How much goes to Nuss? How much goes to Van Buren? How much goes to Hurley? You get it. So the point being that LSU, when they look at their rev share for 2026, may be looking at linebacker. And then Bush is a guy that they go, well, we'll have Devon Keys there. And we signed 5 linebackers in last year's class who are all going to be, at that point, rising sophomores or second-year players. where do we place the value of J.J. Bush? So if you have a roster 1 to 85, let's just say in that scenario, he's number 62, hypothetically. Well, what if Arkansas sees him as number 22? So same scenario where they're doling out 15 million, but he's getting a higher number at Arkansas because he's more valuable on their roster than he is at LSU. Like, that's a scenario that I think we're going to see unfold a bit and probably happened here. So anyway, bottom line is you got the 5-star edge, which of the two is the one you wanted, and you wanted both clearly, but you missed on the linebacker, and you don't have a linebacker committed now for 2026. You're going to lose West Weeks and Whit Weeks after this season. Harold Perkins, you're going to return Devon Keys, and then guys like Tylen Singleton, and then all the young guys you just signed in this year's class, Charles Ross, Keelan Moses, those guys. CJ Jim Coyley. So linebacker, they'll have work to do. It's Blake Baker's position, so they'll have work to do there. Okay, let's say some good mornings here. Rapid batches, good morning. Hey, Thomas, good morning. Brian, good morning. Thomas, I got the day off every day. God bless, man. Retirement's a great thing. Leon, happy rocking July 3rd. Time to prep that brisket. Go get it, man. Hey, Dad, good morning. Eric, yep, thank you, man. Leon, good morning. Sean, good morning. With the House settlement, are recruits more likely to stick with their original choice? I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why you'd connect that dot, Sean. House settlement. Sean, you're gonna have to connect the dots for me, like why the question. Let's see. Chance, not crazy about advertisements on LSU uniform. It'll start off simple, then become NASCAR. Yeah, it doesn't matter, Chance. It doesn't matter. Like, it's something that people always complain about, and you get really upset, not you, just in general, about things like this, and then you forget about it. Like, the Premier League is the most famous sports league in the world. Their jerseys are literally advertisements. That's all it is. Like, it's an advertisement on their jersey. Bowl games are named after sponsors. Stadiums have sponsor names on them now as well. You're seeing advertising logos on fields. In the NFL, you already see it. Like, we'll all shake our fists and be really mad, and then you're going to go watch a game and nobody's going to care. Like, you're not going to care. I mean, you watch LSU play in the national championship game, and there's a giant All-State logo on the field. It doesn't reduce your enjoyment because there's an All-State logo on the field. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't. Cliff, good morning. ASCII Rock Thing for Drew's birthday. If Drew gives up, would love birthday song for me. Happy birthday, man. She's going with like a superhero theme. So she's making all kind of like Super Drew stuff. Like giant cutouts of Drew and as like Drew's head on Superman's body and stuff like that. And I guess turning the house into like Metropolis, I guess, or like a city. Hard at work already, man. Happy birthday. Hope it's a great one, man. And if Drew gets up, I'll ask him to sing. But he and E-Rock are still out, and I got a Zoom call at 9 a.m., so in 20 minutes. So we're cutting it close here, dude. But hope it's a great one. Excuse me. Jalen, good morning. Hey, Brad, good morning. You remember your interview with Zach Arnett? Was he the worst coach interview you ever had? As an interesting personality. He's on the short list. Yeah. The 1 year Zach Arnett was the head coach at Mississippi State, I got a one-on-one with him at SEC Media Days, and it was awful. Yeah. He was a strange guy. And I tried. It gets your media days is so interesting because there's really no time for like casual chit chat to get to know somebody, right? Or to warm them up. It's like I could be on air and then someone walks up, they sit down, put on the headset, and you're in it. And like you may have 5 minutes. It's almost like speed dating. So there isn't a whole lot of time for get to know. So man, it's like you got to just push buttons to see what's going to be the thing that makes them open up. And so you just keep pushing until you get the right button. And when you find that button, then you keep hammering down on that angle. And Arnett was just, there was just nothing there. I mean, just nothing there. Robert, good morning, Matt. Head to Grand Isle for the weekend with enough Bardstown bourbon to supply an army. Cheers. Enjoy, man. Hey, Brian, good morning. Hope you're doing great, man. Still praying for you and hope onward and upward and healing good and all that stuff, man. Day 66. Okay, get some haters. Alan Faneca Day. Lowell Cormier, good morning. Green Z, Matt, listen to your Locked On episode. May have missed it, but I don't believe you said Jaden Newt's draft stock. If he makes back, that'd be a good potential starter next year. Yeah, fully expect Newt to be back next year at LSU. He's already had Tommy John, so of course he still could come back and have leverage coming back for another year. So fully expect that Newt will return next year. That's why I didn't mention him on there. But good question. I think Newt is among the guys we mentioned. Yeah, Newt's among the guys that we mentioned when we talked about the guys that will be vying for a starting role next year. Evan, Schmidt, Rizzi, Williams, Newt, Sheeran, Guidry potentially, Cowan, Ware, anyone you add via the portal. Look, I mean, they tried to go after Mack from Rutgers, who ultimately picked Tennessee. You know, the two biggest portal targets you've had so far are Stokes from Oregon, who picked Florida State, and Mack from Rutgers, who picked Tennessee. I mean, it just goes to show you, even winning 2 titles in 3 years is not a big a draw for these guys as money. And LSU, despite people who say like LSU buys the roster, the LSU's got a very healthy NIL budget for baseball, but it is not near the top. It is not the top in the SEC. Tennessee, Texas A&M, Texas, Georgia, Arkansas, all 5 of those have bigger NIL budgets in baseball than LSU. That's in the SEC alone. Thoughts on advertising on the uniforms? Yeah, I don't care. Would love to put Parrish on the LSU uniforms. Probably not something that's within our budget right now, but would love to do that. Hey, Brian, LSU should be featured on the SC Network late tonight and tomorrow. Yeah, they got the takeover days. LSU is the 4th of July, so a day when nobody will be watching the SEC Network. LSU gets the takeover day. Or maybe I'll be grilling outside or doing whatever and flip on the SEC Network. Hey, Brant, good morning. Halfway mark at San Francisco Monterey trip has not disappointed. Great memories with my girls. Have a blessed day. That's awesome, Brant. Enjoy. Cheers. Hope it's a great finish to the trip, and you'll have a great day, man. That's awesome. Jalen, need to get back home to Louisiana, recharge. Living in Missouri is a pain in the butt, but my job is here, so trying to go home, get some food, relax, hopefully soon. Hey, man, good time to do it during the summer, or when you get to fall, man. Football season almost upon us. Some great home games on the schedule this year. Florida, South Carolina, Texas A&M. Get some good home games this year, man. Robert, any word on what Stanfield will be doing? Watching him this year, I can't help but want him to come back. Also heard you say yesterday thought he has average speed. I may finally disagree with you. Okay, you can disagree with me. He's just not a plus outfielder when you're projecting next level. So I'm not saying he's slow, but, and by the way, we're talking about Curiel. Stanfield's a good outfielder, but he doesn't project as a center fielder at the next level. So the thing about Stanfield is he's 50-50. It's whether or not he's a draftable prospect. I mean, that's the thing that I think a lot of, like, we had this conversation yesterday, and someone brought up it was, I mentioned Ethan Fry. And a lot of times you will hide your weakest defender in left. And someone said, oh, I thought it was right. No. I think sometimes we think in terms of, okay, if you coach your kid's 12U team, you take your, you take a kid and put him in right field because you're probably going to face fewer left-handed batters, so fewer dead pull hitters all. But in left field, the ball is truer off the bat. It's an easier read generally in left field than right field, and you have shorter throws to third and home. So that's where you would put your weakest defender. But that's where Fry would play next year. So the thing with Stanfield, I think you got to realize if you're going to be a big league center fielder, like think Mike Trout. And now he might be the standard of the last 2 decades, but if you're thinking about who but go back to the example about like hiding a player. Manny Ramirez. You knew Manny was going to slug homers, but was a little lazy in the outfield, not great, but you had to find a spot for him. So where'd they put him? Left field. That's pretty common. Albert Bell. Guy hit 50 homers one year. Slugger. Not a great outfielder. Where they put him? Left field. So when you think about how you project to the next level, that's where you would put your weaker defender. I think a lot of people look at Stanfield and they go, oh man, fast athletic guy, center field, he can run. Okay, well, doesn't have a great arm. Good glove, good speed, not plus on either. Hits for average, does not hit for power. You see what I mean? Like there's not a lot there where like a big league team is going to look and say, okay, maybe he puts on a little weight and adds a little pop to the bat, but can he really get much faster? Is his arm going to get much stronger? And so like he's probably not someone that projects as a center fielder to the next level. So then you go, okay, well, is he a corner outfielder? Well, do you want a corner outfielder that doesn't hit for power? You see what I mean? Like they're looking for tools. Like a guy like Mark Laird is a great example. Mark Laird had an exceptional speed and a great glove. Didn't hit for power, didn't have a great arm, hit a little bit for average, but was never really a prospect because of that. Andrew Stevenson, meanwhile, who was 6'2" and could put on size, the power tool came, but had the great glove, had the great speed, had the great arm, had all that. And so, play center field in Major League Baseball because the average with experience you can hit and the power tool came. So anyway, long way of saying, I think sometimes you're saying you disagree about Stanfield. I'm saying you can disagree with me. The point is it's ambiguous right now whether or not he's either going to be drafted. Like there's nothing to disagree with. Like he's a marginal prospect at the next level. So like, does he get drafted and sign? Maybe. And I think, look, it's never a bad thing to have an experienced player back on your team, right? But there's a delicate dance Jay's going to have to do with this team because Curriell's going to play center next year. And if Stanfield's back, is Stanfield going to be willing to move to left? Like those two flip? Because that may be what happens. And then what do you do with Fry? If Fry's back, Fry probably goes and plays first base. Hey, Tim, good morning. Gregory Gordy, good morning. Ray Sutherland, morning. You and Hunt seem to disagree with Fry's future. I hope you're right. He was saying we need another outfielder in the portal. If that's the case, why wouldn't Larson stuck around? I don't know what Hunt said, to be clear. And they may go get another player out of the portal. I know in our conversations, Hunt thinks Fry is gone. And I think sometimes it's just a matter of who you talk to. Like, I think if you're LSU, you're preparing for the possibility. Like, you have to prepare for the possibility that Ethan Fry goes. If a team drafts him and gives him the right number, that he signs. Like, you have to prepare for that possibility. But then also, when you look at it from the big league side of things and how they project Ethan Fry, who has never played a position in college, he doesn't have a lot of value at the next level. He's a power hitting right-handed bat. Those are a dime a dozen. Same with Jared Jones. That's why Jared Jones is probably a third or fourth round guy. You say, man, but he's hit all these homers at LSU. He hit 20 because he's a power hitting right-handed bat that's going to play first base and DH. There's just not a lot of value in that. Like, you're going to put more value on guys that can play a defensive position. And Fry hasn't done that. Let's see. Wendell, good morning. Dedrick, good morning. Bubba, good morning. Man, I must be behind on comments. Hey, Cade, good morning. Any update on the Saints quarterback situation? Who's leading? I don't know that we know that for sure. You just had OTAs and minicamp. The training camp starts here in a few weeks, and we'll get a much better sense of it when we get to it. But if I had to bet, I'd still think that Tyler Shucks could end up being the starter. Hey, Henry, good morning. Sean can't pay for play anymore. I guess going back to your earlier question, Sean, but there still will be NIL opportunities, but it has to be true NIL that goes to the clearinghouse. Or do people pay under the table? Or do you front load contracts, which is something we've talked about as well? Like, they're still going to be pay for play. It's just a matter of how they phrase it, funnel it, disguise it, all that sort of stuff. Hey, Brian, Padre Hooch leading the Kenilworth 4th of July parade tonight. Saw that. Truax, what's up, man? Hey, Abner, good morning. Thomas, he's going to be celebrating tomorrow night. I don't know what we're going to some friends tomorrow, like afternoon, evening. I don't know if it'll be around firework time or we'll be home by then. Not exactly sure. Let me make sure I get this because we have to wrap up for 9 because I have to jump on a Zoom call.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish built. Parish built. Parish built. From your hometown. ParishBuilt.com.
Rex, good morning, Matt. It's Henderson that chose LSU for playing time and didn't mention who'd be starting at quarterback. Okay. I mean, I kind of talked about that. Like, there's a big exodus at edge. Relaford will be the only guy coming back in 26 who's got real playing time, so there's an opportunity to the field. I don't know. I must be missing something there. Sorry. Tiger Diver, where does LSU go for quarterback for the 26 class? Great question. I think you try really hard between now and December to flip an elite prospect. If not, you're in the portal. Carrie, did Crystal get you right yesterday? Shout out Crystal Poche, Restored Motions. Went and saw her yesterday. She's got to be upright. But I'm telling you, I'm sore today. You know this, Carrie. Like with how hard she gets into you, like, I'm sore today. But much better going back to see her again next week, and then I'm gonna be on a regular, like, at least once a month. I just have to. I'm just tired. I'm tired of doing this. You know, I'm tired of feeling good for a few weeks, few months, and then, you know, slip a disc, and then I fall into this awful, you know, pattern. So, got to be more consistent. Hey, Manny, good morning. You the man. Thank you, Manny. Appreciate you, the man. Clayton, 9 Saturdays from football. Let's go. We're in the single digits. Let's see. Strongest arm in right field. Jalen, I'll be in Nashville for Randy. It looks like I will be in Nashville for Randy as well. Hey, Kelly Gross, good morning. Jalen, best quote is off of Moneyball. You hope they have 2 to 3 tools, another one that they can develop. Roy, good morning. Richard Tilley Sr., good morning. Lance Richard, good morning. Get some haters. Mike, can you explain the Arch Manning hype? from playing in a lower level Louisiana competition, backing up a 7th round pick, now the #1 overall pick and Heisman favorite. Sure. I don't really care what school he played at. Had he gone to IMG, he would have started there and been on a national contender. So you could say what you want about Newman, but that's just not a football factory. They've had some good players come out of Newman, but they don't like consistently churn out championships. You can't fault Arch Manning for not having a roster capable of winning a state championship. He was great. So when you're being recruited, you're looking at a lot of things like size and arm strength and tools, and he's got all that. He's a prototype. He's giant with a huge arm and comes from a good family and good pedigree and all that sort of stuff. Smart kid, all that stuff. He's also waited his turn, so now he's in his 3rd year in school, finally getting his chance to start. And the 7th round pick thing, a lot of that with Ewers is he did play injured last year, and I think Quinn Ewers was a really good college quarterback. Don't forget, Quinn Ewers was a 5-star. Quinn Ewers was a 5-star who had 3 years of starting experience, who got Texas to the playoff the year prior, who did play injured last year. And I don't really care how you project in the NFL if you're a good college quarterback. I mean, Eric Crouch won the Heisman Trophy, played receiver for a second in the NFL. I'm not super concerned about being a 7th round pick. And then why is he and by the way, the reason he's projected as a top of the draft guy is because all of the NFL scouts see the same thing that all the college scouts saw: the size, the arm strength, the family ties, the acumen, all of it. I mean, it's all there. It checks every box. And then why is he a Heisman favorite? Because Texas made the playoff a year ago. They got a talented team with a favorable schedule. He's the quarterback on the team that's probably going to put up big stats, and quarterbacks that put up stats on teams that win a lot are the ones who are always in the Heisman running. So of course he should be in there. So, all right, I got to get going. Cliff, why do the Mannings not consider LSU with their ties to Louisiana? Arch did consider LSU, but the ties to Louisiana are relevant. And his dad and grandpa went to Ole Miss. Like his uncle went to Tennessee. I mean, if I, as an LSU grad, were an NFL player and I got drafted by Jacksonville and I moved my family to Jacksonville, we stayed our whole career there in Jacksonville, we set up shop in Jacksonville, should my kids go to Florida or Florida State? I'd be like, Florida State? My kids go to LSU. Yeah, they can go where they want, but I ain't sending them to Florida State because of proximity. So I don't know. I've never gotten the angst with the Mannings that people have. Would have been great if they had come, sure, but like, you got no ties to LSU. I mean, Dad, Grandpa is the greatest player in Ole Miss history. Like, anyway, it makes sense to me why none of the Mannings have ever come to LSU. Like, why would you? I wouldn't want my kid. If I was an Ole Miss legend, I wouldn't want my kid going to LSU. I mean, sometimes it happens. Like Eddie Furness's kid going to play for Ole Miss. Like sometimes you want to go pave your own path, carve your own path. That's cool. Like Peyton did that. Peyton didn't go to Ole Miss. He went to Tennessee. Went and followed his own path. Good for him. All right, I got to go, y'all. I have a Zoom here at 9 a.m., so I really have to jump. Thanks so much for being with us. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. All of our sponsors are linked in the description on YouTube, tagged on Facebook. They're scrolling here at the bottom. Remember, if you ever want the info, it's all right there. Always scroll. Remember, Brock, Rock, and Wine, Saturday, July 26th, all the proceeds benefiting the Brock Foundation inside of Tiger Stadium, South Stadium Club. Get tickets at brortho.com. Okay, I got to go. Y'all have an awesome day.